Hello my friends and welcome to Adventures of Deanna. I'm Deanna and I'm on a quest. I'm on a quest to lose over 100 pounds and you're gonna get tired of me saying this, but I am doing it with the help of my Hero's Journal. Not sponsored, I'm not sponsored, but I love this journal so much. I just have to keep bringing it up because I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. A lot of times when dieting, the diet can get a little bit stale or boring or whatever, and you think that, you know, it's not doing it anymore and you kind of give up or you switch to a different diet. I think that's why Weight Watchers was doing so good with all of their different colored plans, and I don't know why they're getting rid of them because people, you know, seem to love to switch from blue to green or to purple to whatever. I don't even know what colors they had. I never did any of the colored plans. As I was trying to say, whenever you're on a diet, you know, it can kind of get stale or boring, and it's fun to, you know, jump ship and try something else. And, you know, okay, I was doing keto, let's go to intermittent fasting. I was doing intermittent fasting, let's do just something else, you know, and it's fun to kind of jump around. What this journal is doing for me is kind of giving me like a jump around, like, because I just follow, you know, basic guidelines. I eat whenever I'm hungry, I stop whenever I'm satisfied, I get plenty of sleep, and I get plenty of water, and I try to move my body in ways that feel good and keep me moving and grooving. Very, very basic, but it can kind of get boring whenever you're on such a long quest as I am on. It's a long quest. It is not a short-term quest to lose over 100 pounds. And this kind of keeps me going with that. One of the things that it helps me do is to think about my weight loss in different ways. So what are my threats and what are my allies? So I talked about some of those threats, like snacking whenever I'm not hungry is a threat to my weight loss success. Not getting enough sleep is also a threat to my weight loss success. Some of my allies are making sure that I go to the grocery store regularly and I stock the house with healthy foods that I enjoy eating. That way, I'm not threatened to go out and get food outside the house, which is not as easy, you know, calorically all the time to make it, you know, fit for weight loss. So that's one of the ways. Another way that the Hero's Journal really helps me out is that every day I write down what my goal is, and then I write down 3 action items that I'm going to take in order to progress further in that quest. It's fun to think about other things, like if you're playing like some different games, like Dungeons and Dragons, you might think of, you know, you got to roll the dice and you're going to see, you know, what your score is. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, I'm going to mess this up. But anyway, just think about, you know, how can I level up in my strength? How can I level up in my dexterity, in my constitution, in my wisdom, in my charisma? These are all skills that we need to have in order to lose weight. I feel like charisma is going to be a big one coming up here later in the month whenever we are faced with friends and family that are going to want to tempt us with different treats, maybe going out for drinks, different things like that. So we're going to have charisma in order to say no. Also, that uncomfortable question about, oh, you're losing weight, what diet are you doing? You know, love that question. Said no one ever. It's just awkward. But charisma is going to come into play whenever these things come up. Also, wisdom is going to come into play whenever these things come up. I've already been on my weight loss journey for, sad to say, 2 years. But with that time has given me wisdom. Wisdom to know a lot of things about myself. What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses, and how can I use those to my advantage? And we're probably going to talk about those more as we get into it. But let me know down in the comments below, what are your strengths in your weight loss journey and what are your weaknesses? Maybe we can work through these things together in order to make us stronger, to give us more strength, not necessarily in the picking up and putting things down kind of way, but just in our constitution. So that's my little plug for the Hero's Journal today. This week was a good week. It was a really good week, and I've got a bunch of clips of me walking the dog. So let's see what I had to say this week, and then I'll sum it all up at the very end. It is Monday, November the 1st. Day one of Derek's Journeys Step Challenge for the month of November. And it's time for me to get my steps in. I decided to go for an early morning walk. As you can see, it is dark outside. I'm just under the street lights, but it is dark, but it's a good time to get those steps in. You gotta start early if you're gonna get a good count for the day, especially when you sit at a desk all day. Gosh, so check in with you later. Bye. It's Tuesday morning and I'm out for my walk this morning. Of course, it's dark outside. I'm under a street light. But gotta get those steps in. Gotta get those steps in. Go green team. So I'm getting my steps in. Yesterday was an excellent day for steps. 13,000. Awesome. Also, out of curiosity yesterday, I decided to be cognizant of my sugars. So I'm not participating in the sugar challenge, but I thought, why not take this opportunity to just re-examine your sugars? So I looked. I had nothing that had added sugar yesterday except for one thing, and it was a donut. My husband got donuts on Halloween and they're left over, so I thought, sure, I'll have one, but I only had one. And it still kept me under my grams of sugar for the day, the recommended like 26 grams of sugar. So it was a win. Okay, I gotta speed up here because I need to get these steps in. So I'll see you tomorrow or later. Tracking my food, but I'm doing it anyway. So this morning I'm going to have an egg McMuffin. So Canadian bacon that has 60 calories, less than 1 gram of sugar, some Kraft American cheese, a Thomas English muffin, which 150 calories and less than 1 gram of sugar. So that is my breakfast for this morning. And don't forget the egg. While we wait for my egg to cook, I thought I'd show you my steps for today. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It is Tuesday at lunchtime. It is a lovely day. We are out for a walk with the Loki boy. He is now allowed to go on 5 to 10 minute little potty break walks. So that is what we're doing. He's supposed to go slow, but he's all fired up. But anyway, I am at close to 11,000 steps for the day. 11,000. And it is a gorgeous sunny day here. It is Wednesday morning and I'm out for my walk. I'm just gonna stop right here and talk for a minute. It's like 30 degrees out this morning and a little bit cold. So sugar, yesterday, for sugar, I had some applesauce and I had some alcohol. And I have no idea what the sugar, actual grams of sugar was, but that's what I had for sugar. There was no sugar in my breakfast, there was no sugar in my lunch, it was all in my dinner. So I'll update you when I get home with what my sugar actually was. And why am I doing this? I'm not participating in the challenge, but yet I'm still reporting on my sugars. So maybe I am participating. I don't know. I've come a long way. I've come a long way. I know that there was a time where something like this would have just like sent me off the rails, like bad. I'm just gonna eat all the sugar, you know, and here I am kind of participating but not participating. Interesting how I have changed. I am on my afternoon walk with Loki on Wednesday, and I just want to update you on the sugar thing. So that applesauce, 24 grams of sugar for this applesauce. Crazy. And I don't know if I want to switch to a different variety of applesauce. I'd probably like buy it and not like it and it'll go bad. Who knows? But 24 grams of sugar. Just happy Thursday. Oh, it's bright out here. Oh, it's the first time I've been outside all day. I woke up. Let's start back. Let's rewind a little bit. I went to bed last night at 7:15 p.m. and I woke up this morning at 5:15 a.m. So quite the bit of extra sleep. And it was hard for me to get out of bed. And I was only up for an hour before I was back asleep. So, and then I worked for a little bit, and then I took a long lunch and took a nap. So I just haven't been feeling too good today. And now it's time for me to get my steps. Well, at least some steps. Loki needs to go for a walk. I don't know how much I'm gonna do because I don't feel too good at all. I'm kind of just playing it by ear right now to see if I get exhausted or what happens, what have you. So that is my update for today. I just wanted to check in. I decided a walk would be good for me. I'm definitely not gonna go at my normal pace, taking it kind of nice and easy, but while it's out, while the sun is shining, and it's kind of somewhat nice. It's still cold, hence the hat. I thought it would be good to get out and at least get some fresh air and a little bit of movement in just for my well-being. I think it'll be helpful. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna get some extra steps. I'm at like about 2,500 so far for the whole day, and it's 5 or after, so I don't know where I'm going to end the day. I don't know if I'll even get to my 7,000 or not, but I wanted to at least get some form of movement in today, so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna fall. I fear of falling. Always me, fear of falling. Okay, I'm on my way home. I did not walk as far as I normally walk. Definitely not as fast as I normally walk. I'm feeling a little tired. I'm at 6,000 steps, and I don't think I'm gonna get to 7,000 by the time I get home. I might just like walk up and down in front of my house so I get to 7,000. Then I'm like, okay, done, did it. But I'm glad that I at least got out for a little bit to get some activity in, trying to, you know, do something versus just, you know, being lazy. Like I said, I didn't do anything really strenuous. I'm walking like just like very casually getting my steps in. So and tomorrow's weigh-in day. I don't know how this little cold or whatever I've got going on is going to affect that. We'll see tomorrow. Before we get into my weigh-in, for the sake of transparency, really quick, I'm going to throw up here both my sugar and calories, or is it just my sugar? One of the two. And then I'm also going to throw up here my steps for the week. steps were good this week. I was moving and grooving. I was doing a lot of, say, like little snacker size, just, you know, a little 2 minutes of walking here, a little bit of 2 minutes of walking there, just in order to get that step count up. So my steps are really, really good this week, except for the day that I wasn't feeling really good. And they were not so good that day. I didn't even hit the 7,000. I was so close, 18 steps away from getting my 7,000 steps that day. The sugar challenge that I'm not doing, but doing-ish in a way, I was just being really curious about what my sugar intake was. It really told me that I don't really have a problem so much with choosing too much sugar. I'm kind of right there at the daily recommended guidelines for sugar most every single day, and then for the week it really just averages out. There's maybe a few places where I could cut my sugar out, but really I'm doing really good on my sugar. So very eye-opening, very eye-opening. I thought I would probably have maybe higher sugar count than what I did. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that my sugar count wasn't as high as I thought it was. So yay, that's a win. That's a non-scale victory. Like, who knew? For the week, last week I was at 207.8, and this week I weighed in at 206.8. So I lost exactly 1 pound. And while I'm happy that I lost a pound, I'm so sick of seeing a number that starts with 20 number. I'm just over it. I've been here for months. And I want out. I want out of this place of where I'm at. So I'm on my quest. And I'm going to slay the dragon, and I'm going to defeat the orcs and the ogres and everything that comes along my way, because I'm just ready to get to that next step, the next 10, the 90s, the 190s. I want to be in the 190s. I want to be in the 190s. So this week, I'm just going to continue on with what I always do, not doing anything different. I'm going to continue with the Derek's Journey Step Challenge, go Team Green. And I am going to continue with my basics, with eating when I'm hungry, step when I'm satisfied, water, sleep, movement. I'm going to keep tracking my food just for curiosity's sake. I'm not doing it in order to hit a certain limit. Right now, I'm averaging about 1,600 calories a day, and that seems to be working just great. So that's going to wrap up my week. I hope to see you next week. As always, it's going to be an adventure.